All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. January 11th, 2021, and like I told you on October 17th, Alabama would win the college football championship. It was all synced up with Nick Saban's fake coronavirus diagnosis. And if you haven't figured out sports are fake yet, college and pro, you definitely haven't been following my channel. And if you haven't figured out coronavirus is fake yet, you definitely haven't been following my channel. And for all of you who continue to not listen and say, Zach, how come you're not making any videos anymore? GematriaEffectNews is my main channel. This is Gematria Effect Sports. I hardly ever post here. I'm throwing you guys a bone and doing a video on this channel, which is probably a mistake because when I do a live stream on this channel, there's 200 people watching. When I do a live stream on GematriaEffectNews, there's over 1,000 people watching. But what we're going to do in this video is go over the ritual of Alabama's championship today so you can understand just how scripted college sports are, as well as the NFL, and then we're going to go over Wild Card Weekend. And if you don't think football's fixed, I know you didn't see Maurice Pouncey's snap to Ben Roethlisberger to start the game yesterday against the Browns that bounced off the moon before it landed in the end zone. And by the way, we thought the Browns had a real good shot to win that game, which they absolutely did. But just for starters, you see how the score is 52-24? Difference of 28 points. Interesting number. Mac Jones got his 28th win tonight. Nick Saban stayed on 28 losses all time as a college football coach, getting his 277th win tonight, which we'll talk about. 277 has everything to do with him winning his 17th bowl game tonight and his 7th championship, surpassing Bear Bryant. Something we talked about at the beginning of 2020 when Kobe Bryant died on the anniversary of Bear Bryant, prior to the year where they ended up changing the NFL to 7 teams from each conference. Again, all this stuff's connected. It's not an accident that they changed, the conferences to 7 teams this year. Nick Saban becomes the winningest coach in college football history, getting his 7th championship. Remember just a couple years ago when he beat Georgia, he got his 6th championship at age 66, and we said, watch, Bill Belichick will get his 6th championship at age 66 in the same building, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, when he's there, which is exactly what he did. And he did it with Sony Michel, who lost in the college championship with Georgia to Alabama. Remember, Sony Michel scored the only touchdown of Super Bowl 53, scoring at the 53rd minute. And don't forget, we had Patriots over Los Angeles before that season even began, because the only 2 teams in the league that equal 53 in Gematria are Patriots and Los Angeles. And with regards to these 28s up here, Buckeyes equals 28. So a difference of 28 points as Mac Jones gets his 28th win, and Nick Saban stays on 28 losses all time. Remember, the news about Nick Saban with the virus was on the 17th of October. Today he gets his 17th championship on a 17-date numerology. 17's not his 17th championship, his 17th bowl game win. But here, we're going to put it all together. So if you're not on my Patreon page, I put out these notes before the game. And I've been talking about Alabama and how I like them to win the championship since October. But again, Alabama equals 13 in Gematria. I always call Miami the 13 city, like Tua, number 13 there right now. Remember when he came in against Georgia down 0-13, and he won the game on the 41-yard touchdown pass from number 13 to number 6. 41's the 13th prime, 13's the 6th prime. Nick Saban got his 6th championship with number 6. And today was number 6, who just won the Heisman this year. It was his 59th day of his age, the 17th prime on the 17-date numerology. The only thing I was wrong about today is I told Sweet Lady that Alabama would score 59 points in this game. I thought they were going to do it, but touchdown shy. Anyway, date numerology today, 17. Nick Saban, again, the 17th bowl game win over Ohio, the 17th state. Remember when LeBron went to the Lakers on July 1st, date written 1/7, like 17 in the majority of the world? And we said that day LeBron will win the 17th championship for the Lakers in his 17th season. He signed the $153 million contract, the 17th triangular number coming from Ohio, the 17th state. This is how they do it. So Nick Saban gets a big 17 over Ohio State. And how about that one guy's name? Master Tig. What a name. You don't think they're farming these guys? But again, I mean, year after year, I'm teaching you guys about Alabama, how it equals 31 with the alphabetic order and 13 with the alphabetic order and rules numerology. Alabama beat Notre Dame with 31 points, right? They were 3-1 against Ohio State all time before this game, and it was easy to see they'd become 4-1 because 41's the 13th prime number, just like how Tua threw the 41-yard touchdown pass from number 13 to number 6, 41 the 13th prime, 13 the 6th prime. That was for Nick Saban's 6th championship to Ty Bear Bryant. But anyway, today they became 4-1 versus Ohio State in AT&T Stadium, or not AT&T Stadium, but the game was hosted by AT&T tonight. AT&T is 41. A's the first letter, T's the 20th, T's the 20th, 1 plus 20 plus 20, 41. Even my idiot trolls can add that up. But, again, this is what I wrote up for the people on Patreon before the game. And what's hilarious is if you go to my Patreon page, everybody knows not to comment there that has a brain because trolls live on my page. I'm sure they're all paid for by the league and bookies and Vegas and these sports leagues, but just a pack of trolls live on my page and just spam all day. They read these notes and couldn't figure out who I thought was going to win the game. I mean, that's why if you read the comments, it was like, so who does Zach have winning the game? It's like, okay, are they retarded? The last 3 sports videos I've done, I've said Alabama will win. In October, I said Alabama will win. These notes clearly say Alabama will win. It's just like, you got to be retarded. But again, just the stuff I write up here. You know, I write about the Tua thing. Right here, Saban won his 6th championship in that game. We're talking about when they beat Georgia to Ty Bear Bryant, and this year he can pass Bear with the 7th, leaving Ohio State on 7 wins in the year the NFL changed the playoffs so that each conference has 7 teams representing. And keep in mind, Kobe Bryant just died on the anniversary of Bear Bryant. And from that day to this game was 351 days later, which is the 26th triangular number. Nick equals 26, Bear 26, Bryant 26, dead on the 26th. Again, the anniversary of Bear Bryant. And, Nick just set the record. Now he's the first coach to win those 7 championships. He's in a league of his own. He became 14-5 in bowl games with Alabama tonight. That's a big number in terms of who runs the show. The Catholics, the Jesuits. In his coaching career with other teams, he became 17-10 in bowl games tonight. And again, today had 17 date numerology, and 17 is the 7th prime number. Again, that's the number that mattered. And Saban came in on 28 losses with Alabama, stayed on 28 losses, winning by 28 points. Again, Mac Jones got his 28th win. What's amazing is Saban got his 277th all-time win as a college coach tonight. That's the 59th prime number. 59's the 17th prime number. 17's the 7th prime number. So you got to know your numbers. And Devontae Smith, the Heisman winner, today was his 59th day of his age. He set that record in the first half, and then they pulled him from the game. I don't know if his injury was real or not, but talk more about him in a moment. His name equals 51. He won the Heisman on 5-1. But like I said here, what are the odds? Again, these perfect alignments. It's just like Tua comes in down 0-13 with number 13. You know, the winning touchdown. Go back and look at the box score. You'll see it was a 41-yard touchdown pass from number 13 to 6. Again, 41 the 13th prime, 13 the 6th prime. That championship was about 6. In this game, Saban gets his 277th win on his star player's 59th day of his age. 277 is the 59th prime. Again, 59 is the 17th prime. He gets his 17th bowl game win on the 17 date numerology. And 17 is the 7th prime, getting his 7th championship. And again, year after year, college and pro, you just see how these rituals come together so perfectly. And the only way it's possible for it to go down like this year after year is if it's all rigged and scripted together. Just like how Nick Saban and Bill Belichick used to coach together in Ohio with the Cleveland Browns, and that's how we were saying, okay, Saban gets his 6th championship at 66. Now watch how Belichick will do it when he's age 66, get his 6th in the same building. Sure enough, that's exactly what they do. And Mac Jones, today for Mac Jones, the quarterback for Alabama, it was his 129th day of his age. Crimson Tide equals 129. What a perfect day for Mac Jones to be in the championship with Alabama, the Crimson Tide. Perfect little ritual. And he was 27-2 coming into the game. He became 28-2. And Devontae Smith, born November 14th. There's 30 days in November, right? So there's 16 days to the end of November. Or here, I'll just do it this way. Rather than have you guys do the math like this, I'll just put it right here. From November 14th, from his birthday, Heisman winner, right, to today, it is his 59th day of his age. And again, 59's the 17th prime, helping Nick Saban pick up that 17th bowl game. How can it be all so perfect? Again, because a lot of these stars on the field are not like the other players on the field. They're people that were born and bred to be for the roles that they'll fulfill in college and pro. We've been documenting this kind of stuff for 6 years straight, calling what happens before it happens, showing how it's perfectly mapped out year after year. And like I told people, the last time Alabama had the Heisman winner, Derrick Henry, they won the championship. And Derrick Henry's Heisman was a big 31 ritual. We covered it then. A lot of idiots left comments like, this is impossible. This has to be a coincidence. No, it's not a coincidence, idiots. It's not impossible. It's very easy. You know how certain people raise horses for thoroughbred racing? These same people raise human beings for their rigged sports games that go right along with their rigged horse races and their rigged elections. Like how all year we told you why Biden would be number 46. It's all the same. So anyway, the trolls, they couldn't decide who I picked after this post. I think a lot more lines up for Alabama. And if you know the way I put out information, I'll always give you the alternative narrative, but I'll say what I think. So all the trolls, if you go to my Patreon page, they're like, wait, I can't figure out what team Zach likes to win. It's like, okay, you shouldn't be in sports gambling if you can't even read at a first grade level. I think a lot more lines up for Alabama. As you can see in the notes, what team do you think I like? And Led is especially saying since October, I think Alabama's going to win. And in the last 3 sports videos we did, saying Alabama, 13th win, and Miami, the 13th city. I mean, come on. I know the idiots, or the non-idiots who follow me, which is the majority of the people who follow me, they know who I like. But God, the trolls are just so damn annoying. But like I said, the only threat to Alabama, in case you wanted to go for the underdog, which I wouldn't have advised. But the one thing that could have gone in Ohio State's favor is had Nick Saban lost, he would have been 13-6 in bowl games with Alabama. And the quarterback's name, Mac Jones, was 136. But again, that didn't feel like the ritual. The ritual felt like 7-17. And I'm still actually a little bit surprised they didn't score their 59 points. So that's how they do it, you guys. And again, Nick Saban, the coronavirus news was October 17th, and that was 89 days before the championship, and virus equals 89. Here's the post we covered on GematriaEffectNews the day of this news. I talked about how Nick Saban's full name has the 56 connection, which has been coded all over all the coronavirus rituals this year. And they cleared him 3 days after his positive test, which is another 56 connection. But hold on. Here's what we documented. Okay. So the news came October 17th that he was cleared after the October 14th diagnosis, right? So that was the big story on the 17th, that 3 days earlier he tested positive, and then 3 days later they cleared him, which makes absolutely no sense, right? Because everybody else who's testing positive has to quarantine for 2 weeks or more. It's like my dad this year. He tested positive even though he was perfectly healthy. He drives a city bus, and they made him stay at home for 2 weeks even though he wasn't sick at all. He couldn't work for 2 weeks and got no money. And this kind of stuff's going on all over the nation. But then my dad's at home going like, wait a minute, Nick Saban tests positive, but then he can coach 3 days later? That doesn't even make sense. But it's because it's all ritual. It's all a joke. So from the day he tested positive, October 14th, and by the way, he got his 14th bowl win with Alabama and his 17th overall. So you see how they did that? Test positive on the 14th, can coach on the 17th. It's all ritual. But from the day he tested to the day of the championship, 89 days, which is the 11th Fibonacci number, the championship on the 11 the master number, football a game of 11 on 11, virus 89. If you've seen that movie Contagion, which came out in 2011, they're talking about 89 this, 89 that. Contagion's about a virus outbreak. Sanjay Gupta's in that movie delivering the lines about social distancing. And this year, supposedly in real life, Sanjay Gupta got the coronavirus vaccine on live TV 56 days after his own birthday. Again, from sports to news to elections, it's all rigged the same way, undeniably. And again, they just make this stuff dumber and dumber every year. I mean, to think that anybody even voted for Joe Biden? No, Joe Biden was the laughing stock of the Democratic debates, looking like he belonged in the Alzheimer's home. And, this wild card game, you thought Super Bowl 48's snap to start the game for the safety was a joke. Maurice Pouncey took it to a whole nother level. His snap to Ben Roethlisberger looked like the longest punt in NFL history. I mean, come on. Here, let's go over the wild card games. The wild card games were Money in the Bank this weekend. The Bills. Look it up. It's all facts. The Bills got their 15th playoff win all time as a franchise on a 15-date numerology, and Josh Allen got his 15th career home win. Colts equals 15. Again, if you've been here since the beginning, if you've been here since I've been teaching this in 2013, I now talk about these 4 ciphers as the base ciphers, but when I first started, I didn't know reverse gematria. I just knew these 2 ciphers, the alphabetic order and the alphabetic order with the rules numerology, and I've always taught that this dark blue one, the alphabetic order with the rules numerology, is the most important cipher. So on a 15-date numerology, Josh Allen got his 15th career win at home, and the Bills got their 15th playoff win all time by beating the Colts. And, with Alabama, how many times have I talked about Alabama 31-13? It's just such a broken record with this team. 31 points over Notre Dame to advance to the championship. They go 13-0 for the season in Miami, which I call the 13 city. And that's because if you write out 13, it equals 45. Miami's got that 45. There's just so many 13 rituals that go down in sports in Miami. Tua ended up there too, right? Tua, the Alabama quarterback's in the NFL there now as Saban wins the championship there in the stadium he plays in. All connected. And you know what? Something I didn't look into that I wish I would have now, but I'm just going to look right now. I want to see how many days it is from Tua's birthday to this championship game in the city he now plays in. Hold on, what's his birthday? By the way, Tua equals 6 in that most pure cipher, like how he came in down 13-0. With the winning touchdown to number 6 to give Saban his 6th. This is how they do it. But his birthday is March 2nd, huh? Let's see. Let's see if there's anything to it. March 2nd, 2020 to the championship. 300 oh, God, look at that, man. 45 weeks. You see what I mean? Do you see what I mean, you guys? 45 weeks. These dudes are straight up Manchurians. This is how scripted it is. Oh my God, it makes me sick. It makes me sick that so many idiots will come here and be like, this is dumb. Again, for all of you who feel that way, please do a Kurt Cobain. Please, we don't need you. We don't need the dead weight morons who don't know their ass from their elbows. Put that barrel deep down the throat. 45 weeks after Tua's birthday. I should have thought of that before the game. Okay, so that was a good one, right? I didn't tell you the other one. The Bills got their 38th win all time versus the Colts in the wild card round, and wild card's 38. So the Bills now have 38 wins as a franchise against the Colts all time. So just beautiful wild card riddle, beautiful 15 riddle for the Bills. Bills were favored, so I mean, it's not like an impressive pick, but just to understand the numerical ritual. Now, the Rams were a good value, and like I told my followers, I said the best value for the Saturday games is the Rams. The Rams have a great riddle to win, and I'll show it to you right here. And I wouldn't have been able to see this in 2013. I would not have been able to call this game. I would have probably had no pick back when I first started because I did not know reverse gematria back then. But you see how wild card's also 52? The Seahawks changed their field name to Lumen Field this year, 52. And actually, I take it back. I might have been able to call it for the Rams. I wouldn't have had as much ammo, though. But Los Angeles Rams, and the most pure cipher is 52. Russell Wilson, look it up if you doubt anything I'm saying. It's all facts. Russell Wilson got his 52nd career loss in this game to the Rams in the wild card weekend on the recently renamed Lumen Field, and He fell to 5-2 at home in the postseason. So a double 52 going against him in the wild card round against the Los Angeles Rams at Lumen Field. 52, right? Nice value in that game. Nice upset. I'm up here in Seattle. Well, I lived in Seattle for a long time. Now I still live in Washington State, but now I live in Yakima. But I just hate how when you're in Seattle, everybody's dressed in their Russell Wilson jersey, like a nightgown. I mean, just who likes this guy? This guy is the biggest douche in the world. I mean, this is the guy who threw the purposeful interception in Super Bowl 49. His 21st pass intercepted by number 21 on the down 2nd and 1 on the day 2/1, February 1st. And number 21 goes to the ground with 21 seconds left. And Brady and Belichick became 4-2 in Super Bowls in that game, and Washington's the 42nd state in order of statehood. But again, it's just, this stuff is such a joke. And the other thing that I liked about the Rams is this, see how it says 10-6? That's their regular season record. They became 11-6, and like I pointed out, if they beat the Seahawks, they would likely face the Packers, and Packers got that 116 in their name. And the thing about that is you have these two Pac-12 quarterbacks, right? Goff and Rodgers. They both played at Cal, so the Pac-12 quarterbacks playing, in the Packers-Rams game. And what we've been talking about with the Pac-12 this year is the Pac-12 returned. The Pac-12 was the last major football division to return from the coronavirus break, the recently renamed cold and flu. Because, again, just like they told us a week ago, cold and flu cases are down 98% this year, but coronavirus is way up. The thing that has the same symptoms as the cold and flu. But the Pac-12 returned on the day leaving 55 days left in the year, right? And this is the year of Super Bowl 55. And the Pac-12 championship between USC and Oregon, there were 55 points scored in that game. And it was exactly 51 days before the Super Bowl, and the Oregon Ducks won. And USC fell to 5-1. Notice how Oregon Ducks is 51 and what's considered the most pure cipher, that dark blue one. That game was 51 days before the Super Bowl. USC lost, falling to 5-1. Super Bowl 55 is the 51st Super Bowl of the modern era, you see? And remember what happened on Thursday Night Football the day before the Pac-12 game. Derek Carr went out with his fake injury by the numbers, and then in came Marcus Mariota. So what did you have going on in that game between the Chargers and the Raiders? You had the battle of two Oregon quarterbacks, two Oregon Ducks, the night before the Pac-12 championship between Oregon and L.A., and who won the NFL game the night before? The L.A. Chargers with Herbert, who just got drafted from Oregon. And remember, he played for the Ducks. Ducks equals 13. L.A.'s 13. So you had Herbert, Mr. Ducks, go to the other 13 city, L.A., and then you had Tua go to the other 13 city, Miami. And again, you got to know your ciphers. All these numbers matter with L.A. Don't forget how the Lakers just won it on Father-Daughter Day after the death of Kobe and his daughter 41 weeks after LeBron's birthday, the king, right? The king, when Kobe Bryant died at 41. I don't get everything right, though. I thought for sure that the Lakers were going to start 4-1 this year because their fifth game was against San Antonio. Instead, they started 3-2. I can't believe they didn't start 4-1. I feel like if I didn't call it out at the start of the year, they would have. But this is the 75th NBA season. Kobe 75, Kobe Bryant 41. Remember, he died on his 157th day of his age, 44 days before his death on his 113th day of his age. He was in the news for helping out with a car accident in L.A., and then the 58, like Los Angeles Lakers is 58. The real King James died at age 58. LeBron passed Kobe in points scored in Kobe's hometown, Philly, the day before Kobe died. King James got the Bible named after him. Philadelphia is named in Revelation of the Bible. Again, this is why you got to know the ciphers forwards and backwards. All these numbers so important. But coming back to football, Bucks in Washington, we had the feel-good story with Washington get in, right? Ron Rivera beat cancer. They're no longer the racist Redskins. Alex Smith came back from his busted leg in the crazy Joe Theismann ritual. But we liked Washington to win that game for the feel-good ritual, so they'd face Tampa Bay and get to 7-9. Guess what Tampa Bay became in the playoffs all time by beating Washington? They became 7-9. And why does that matter? Because using that most simple cipher, just the alphabetic order, Tampa Bay 79. And not only that, but Tampa Bay became 2-5 in the first round of the playoffs. 2-5 in the first round, and 7-9 in the playoffs all time. And again, if anybody's out there going, well, how do you verify all this? Just go to Pro Football Reference. Easy. Just come here, search Buccaneers, and you'll see the Bucs are now 7-9 in the playoffs. You see that? And, I was just telling you about the Bills. The Bills got their 15th win in the playoffs, right? And if you're like, well, how do you prove that they got their 38th win versus the Colts? You just come to their head-to-head, and you just go down here to Indianapolis Colts, and you can see they have 37 regular season wins, and they just got their first postseason win in the first matchup of these teams in the postseason for the 38th win. You see? Wild card 38, 15-date, rituals, perfectly scripted to make it all line up. And you know what was if anyone watched the game, you probably remember this. As Phillip Rivers took the last drive before when it was 1st and 10 and they're getting on the field, they put up the stat on the screen. Phillip Rivers, 36 career game-winning drives. You just know right there when you know Gematria that it's over. You just know it's over. He's not getting a game-winning drive here. If he was playing Los Angeles, then you'd be like, okay, here we go. He's going to get 37, but he wasn't playing Los Angeles. He was playing Buffalo, and he already got those 36 game-winning drives, so he's not getting any more. You know what I mean? And so that was Saturday. Those were the Saturday games. We went 3-0 on Saturday. And Sunday we did well. Lamar Jackson. So Sunday had 16-date numerology, right? Lamar Jackson got his 16th career road win. And I got to check. I know there was another 16 here. Maybe it was the Ravens' 16th playoff win. Let me check that. It was. So the Ravens got their 16th career playoff win, and Lamar Jackson got his 16th career road win. But that's not all. And if you're saying, well, where do you get these QB stats? Here's my site, Football Database. I'm teaching you guys how to do this. For all the people out there hating, realize I'm giving you valuable knowledge for free. I'm trying to help you guys out. So if you want to be a dumb fucking retard and troll and write shit, realize you're just your own worst enemy. But Lamar Jackson, let me show you here. Lamar, he got these are his away wins over here. Is that big enough? Let me make it bigger. Lamar Jackson got his 16th career away win. Oh, by the way, the Bucs won with 31 points, and Tom Brady got his 31st postseason win. You see how they do that? Real nice. But you see how Lamar became 16-3? 163 is the 38th prime, and wild card equals 38, right? And Ravens equals 38. And in numerology, if there's a 0 in the middle of a number, it's like nothing. It's like a null value. So you see how Tennessee's 106 with the most simple cipher? That's like 16. So perfect team to get that 16th win against and the 16th away win, you see? The 106 could matter. Like if he had more stats and he was going for his 106th career win, that would be great. But you can also look at a 106 like a 16. And, the other thing was the Tennessee Titans. You see the 54 right here? Tennessee Titans, they were 5-3 at home. It doesn't update the stats because of the postseason, because that's regular season. But for the total season, they became 5-4 at home by losing there, you see? And who runs all this and rigs it all? It's the Jesuit Order. And notice Jesuit Orders 54 and 72, huge numbers with them. And the Ravens became 7-2 away for the season, if you count regular season and postseason. Now, the Saints defeated the Bears, and the Bears fell to 5-4 away for the season. Big number down there in New Orleans, 54, right? New Orleans, 54. So on the surface, that looked pretty incriminating for the Bears. I did advise my people to do a $5 parlay with the Bears because there was a chance they could upset. We thought they'd sneak into the playoffs, and the reason why is Chicago Bears. Again, understand, we thought the Saints were going to win, but we still thought doing a $5 parlay that paid over $100 was worth the risk, just in case. But like I said, I wouldn't bet more than 5 on the Bears. But you see how Chicago Bears is 55 in the most pure cipher? They're the only team in the whole NFL that has the 55 connection like that. And had Drew Brees lost, he would have got his 55th career loss. And the game was on Nickelodeon. There's never been an NFL game on Nickelodeon before. I'm actually surprised they didn't put in Nick Foles. But Nickelodeon even has the 55. So it was like, that could make sense. But like I told my people, if the Bears win, then the Packers and the Rams aren't going to play each other. And I think we're going to have that Pac-12 Goff-Rodgers matchup. So that's why it was worth a $5 parlay that paid over $100. Didn't come through, but you know what? Everything else did. We also like the Browns to beat the Steelers because this game was on 10/1, like 101, and 101's the 26th prime. And what happened in this game is the Steelers got their 26th postseason loss all time, and the Browns got their first playoff win in 26 years. The last time they won in the playoffs was January 1st, 95, and you got to love that they scored 48 points. Talk about 48 a lot over the years with Cleveland. Cleveland 48, we used to talk about all the time in the days of LeBron. James 48. But, yeah, just that opening snap. You know, that opening snap, Maurice Pouncey threw the ball off the moon into the end zone. And notice at halftime, or in the first quarter, the Browns scored 28 points, right? They were up 28-0, and the most pure cipher, Browns is 28. I wonder if there's something about Ohio in 28 that I don't understand. Buckeyes is 28. If you add 1 through 7 together, it's 28. Ohio's the 17th state, the 7th prime. I don't know. Maybe there's something more with Ohio in 28, because I'm realizing that now. Browns and Buckeyes are both 28. But anyway, 28-0 in the first quarter, 28-7 at the halftime, so 35 points, you know, in a game that was all about the Browns. And, yeah, I mean, we absolutely slaughtered Wild Card Weekend. And we've slaughtered sports for a long time. And I think for slaughtering sports for so long, they've made it harder for us to decode games because they double code a lot of games and whatnot now. But the wild card riddles this weekend were pretty straightforward if you took the time to look for the patterns. And again, just so you know how to use this website, again, you just look up a team, Steelers. Oh, I got to show you one more thing with Ben Roethlisberger that'll just blow your mind if you're new here. There was one other really incriminating thing for the Steelers in this game. But see, they got that 26th loss on 10/1, like 101 the 26th prime. Remember the year of Super Bowl 52, what we told you after week 3? We said it'll be Patriots versus Eagles. How did we know that? Because Trump took on the flag protesters on September 23rd, 23/9, like how the flag was sewn at 239 Arch Street in Philly. 239's the 52nd prime. We already knew the Patriots were in that Super Bowl before the season began because of the ritual that went down in Super Bowl 51. So, you know, that season we said, watch, the Eagles will start 10-1 because Philadelphia equals 101. 101's the 26th prime. Flag equals 26. It's all about the flag. And in all the years I've done this, I've only gotten the Super Bowl outcome wrong one time so far. Doesn't mean it won't happen again, but it was actually that year. I favored the Patriots to beat the Eagles, even though we saw the matchup right in week 3 and the Eagles starting 10-1. And it was a beautiful season because there were so many games where Eagles were major underdogs and they won and they were great payouts. They had a game in LA that year that paid 6.5 to 1. That means if you bet 100, it paid $6.50. And we knew it was lock city for the Eagles. Woo, people got rich that day. But anyway, 10-1 we said they'd start. They did because Philadelphia 101. That's how you got to learn to look at it. 10-1 is like 101, the 26 prime, flag 26. So the point I'm making is this 101-26 business happens a lot. And that's what they had going on in this. And now I think about, you know, the Steelers and the Eagles merged during the World War. They were the Steagles. But in this 101st season, Steelers got the 26 ritual against them with the Browns. And check this out. You're going to love this with Ben Roethlisberger's stats. It's going to blow your mind. You see how his record's 169-83 now? He came into the game 169-82. Watch this. Cleveland Browns, 169-83. Isn't it nice? Don't forget, football equals 83. Bear Bryant died in 83 on January 26th. You see how Bryant's 26-37? Kobe died January 26th, as did Bear Bryant. And Kobe died on the 37-year anniversary of Bear Bryant's death. You see how they do it? You see how they do it? So, again, you guys, Gematria, the language to see through rigged sports. The language to make the right calls more often than not before it happens. The language to see how elections are rigged, news is contrived, how all of coronavirus is bullshit. I'm trying to decide what's more bullshit, coronavirus or Maurice Pouncey's snap to Ben Roethlisberger to start the game against the Browns. You know what I mean? You see the 85 combined points in this game? The 85 combined points? National Football League 85. You know? So, again, you guys, I'm doing the majority of my work on GematriaEffectNews. That's the main channel. This is Gematria Effect Sports. And I would subscribe to GematriaEffectNews. I nearly did this live stream on there because it would have had more viewers, but I know a lot of you aren't subscribed to that channel, and you guys are like, Zach, I miss your post. And I'm like, do you guys listen to what I say? Are you guys listening right now? I feel like it's the same people right now, and they must have like 10-inch deep wax in the ears. Are you guys just looking at the visuals on the screen? Do you even hear my voice? Don't be the next person to say, Zach, where are you? I post every day on GematriaEffectNews. I post a million things a day on my website. I post on my Twitter page. I'm all over the place, but I'm not on Gematria Effect Sports. And the reason why is because most of my sports work now is on Patreon. And quite frankly, I'm just bored. I'm just bored of these rigged sports games. I'm just like, every time I turn on a sports game, I'm like, how do people still watch this shit? I mean, I am glad I saw Maurice Pouncey's snap because I haven't laughed that hard and probably since I was 5 years old. It's good to laugh like that, but I was just like, oh my God, are people actually watching this and thinking this is real right now? Like anybody would ever have Maurice Pouncey on their team after that snap. That snap was more impressive than any SpaceX rocket launch. So, oh, by the way, just a few more things to talk about before I open up the phone line. I just want to show you this about Devontae Smith. Again, he won the Heisman on January 5th, a date that can be written 5/1 like 51. And just look at his name in the most pierced cipher. 51, right? 51. So, what a day for him to win the Heisman. Oh, and then think about this. He won the Heisman January 5th, right? And then 6 days later, number 6 helps deliver the championship. You know what I mean? Also, if you count the span of days, January 5th to January 11th, it is 6 days later, but if you count the 5th as well, that's a span of 7 days, right? 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. See what I mean? And then Saban brings home number 7, and it was Devontae Smith who brought home number 6. So, that's how they do it. And just to make one last point, for all you young people, like when I was growing up, what they call targeting now, we used to call a good tackle. We used to call that football. Now they call it targeting. Just watch. I think within a decade, they really will have the football players out there dressed like ballerinas and little skirts. It's just such a joke to watch this shit. Like the Clemson game, I knew something was up with 47 because if you were watching that Clemson-Ohio State game, it was like nothing else was even going on with the game besides the cameraman just following 47 all game. Every time there was a break, they'd go to the sideline and focus on 47. I was like, I don't think this guy's the biggest star on the field. Why do they keep showing 47? And then he ends up getting this penalty, right, for targeting. And I was like, no wonder. And I mean, and tonight that battle guy got thrown out of Alabama. I mean, that was a great tackle. Broke up the pass, saved the first down. I mean, that's football. Targeting, penalty, it's just like, why am I even watching this shit? They don't even let you play football anymore. Why not just make it two-hand touch? You know what I mean? Oh, it's just so sick to watch this weak-ass shit. And then you go to the movies, and now every superhero's a woman whooping some dude's ass. Meanwhile, in the football game, you got female coaches, female referees. Guys can't even make a hard tackle. It's a penalty. It's like, dude, not only does it just look weak and pathetic, it really is weak and pathetic. It's like, that's football. That's what the game's about. That's what you watch for. You know, that's why you got to play like Isaac Bruce. You got to know how to avoid that major hit. For you young people, Isaac Bruce, he was the slickest receiver. Caught balls all over the middle all day, but he was just like he's like a wet noodle, man. He just always knew how to miss the hit. And he played in the day when you could light a guy up. He just knew how to miss the hit. You know? So, pro sports, college sports, it's all a joke. Never forget the Lady Cocks, the year of the bathroom bill. That was the year North Carolina beat Gonzaga with 71 points, and we called it all even the score of the game before the tournament started. Bathroom bill 71, Gonzaga 71, March Madness 71. So, here, let me just take a few calls and see what you guys think. Let's take a few calls here. Hold on. I got to open up the phone line. We're not going to go long with the phone call, so don't try to call in and filibuster. Call in and hit me with something so we can get on to the next caller. And if you guys do want to call in, it's that number on the screen, 509-560-4982. It should be right there on the screen. And the line is open. We're going out to New York first. Oh, shit. Well, I was going out to New York, but then it just disconnected. I hope we're not having phone problems here. Sorry, New York. Call back. Well, now we're going out to Hollywood, Florida. What's up, Hollywood?
Hey, what's going on, man? How are you tonight?
Doing well. Mute that video, though.
Yeah, I just muted it. I got some numbers with the Buffalo Bills that I decoded. Is that all right if I present that?
You just want to talk about this Bills-Colts game? Is that what you're saying?
It has a lot to do with the Agenda 201 and the number 27. I'll be real quick.
Okay.
Terrence Michael Pagula, the owner of the Bills, he equals 201 and 102 in the purest ciphers. Josh Allen was born on the 20th week and 1 day of the year he was born. So you get another 201 right there. Buffalo Bills equals 117, 207, and 72. With all those three numbers, you could relate that to the number 27 also. Are you with me so far?
No, I'm listening to what you're saying.
Okay, Raymond James Stadium, where the site of the Super Bowl, it equals 72 and 172, like Buffalo Bills. The Super Bowl's on 2-7. The Bills won their first playoff game with 27 points. And the Bills were the number 2 seed. They played the number 7 Colts.
Interesting.
So
okay.
What do you think about all that?
Well, I think those are interesting observations. I think those are interesting.
Do you think that ties to them making the Super Bowl, or is that just, you think those numbers are just probably a coincidence?
Well, I'm only giving out my thoughts on what I think for the Super Bowl on Patreon these days, so you can think whatever you want to think.
Well, no, I'm on your Patreon.
Okay, well, this is not a Patreon discussion, is it? This is a public discussion helping other people out. So I'm going to move on to the next one. Good thoughts, though. Good decode, man. Appreciate it. What's up, caller?
Hey. Nice to hear from you again, man.
What's up, man?
I'm calling because I had a question. I had watched the video where you had predicted the Lakers winning the championship in 2018 after LeBron went to the Lakers on that July date. And I remember you had mentioned that you had the intention of wanting to actually start going to some of the sports events and kind of edifying the people on Gematria. Do you still have that idea?
Well, that was the plan. I wanted to be at the Lakers rig finals and everything this year, but then it ends up being the coronavirus season and no one's at the games and they're playing in the bubble. So I mean, that whole plan went to shit because of what happened in the world. But yeah, that is ultimately what I would like to do, is pound some pavement at these games and really wake people up to how rigged it is. And we did it a little bit at the beginning of the year. We went to a Zion Williamson game in New Orleans, and we had their fans all riled up talking about the Zion Williamson sweepstakes on the birthday of Zionist Israel. And we had people listening, and people were like, can we record this? I was like, absolutely, man. Upload this to YouTube. So, yeah, I want to do a lot more of that.
Okay. When you start, will you post information on the Patreon or the Gematria News Effect News page, or?
You mean if I'm actually going to a stadium to do that?
Well, yeah, at a later point in time, once all this quote unquote.
Oh sure, it's just I mean
away.
everybody who followed me knew I went down to Louisiana to start the year after the LSU championship to educate about that. So yeah, I mean I let everybody know that I did that, and I let everybody know it when I do it again. So sadly, right after that, everything got shut down after I got back from Louisiana. But when things open back up, yeah, that's the plan.
All right, cool, man. I'm down for it.
All right, appreciate it, man.
No problem. You take care.
All right, take care. See you. But yeah, you guys see what I'm showing? How Buffalo equals 27, Rams equals 30, Tom Brady gets his 31st playoff win, scores 31 points. You know what I mean? It's like the Ravens beat the Titans with 20. Titans in the most pure cipher, 20. See what I mean? It's like this week after week. You just look at this stuff week after week, and you're like, there they go again. There they go again. You know? Cleveland 48, Chicago and Saints 37, the 12th prime, difference of 12 points in that game. Caller?
Yeah, what's going on?
What's up, man?
What's it called? I just wanted to ask you about how, like, the athletes, like, they know it's rigged and stuff, but, like, are they, like, paid actors? Like,
of course they are. Like, they're paid just like actors. Why pay all these athletes so much? There's no reason to have to pay athletes this much. What do you think the percentage of males are growing up in the U.S. that want to be a professional athlete?
Not high, very low.
Whoa, hold on. Did you just say very low? The percentage of men growing up in the U.S. that want to...
No, I'm sorry. That's not... I didn't hear the question right. Yeah, of course people want to be athletes growing up. That wasn't
okay.
Thing I was...
Now, so here's my next question. The people that are on the field, some of them are great athletes, but do you see a lot of people in pro sports that don't look like they belong there?
Yeah, I guess, but...
There's plenty. There's plenty that don't belong there, and they're getting paid big bucks. Think about how many people would play on a pro sports team for way less money just to be a professional athlete, to get the recognition, the fame, to play for their city. You wouldn't have to pay these people jack shit. They'd want to play sports if that could be their living. Most of these athletes, if they're not on the field, they're begging groceries in a warehouse making $15 an hour because they don't even have any other skills. There's no reason to pay these guys so much money. None, zero, nada. It's because they're all paid to shut the fuck up and go along with these rigged games that just... The whole point of pro sports, you guys, all roads lead to Rome. The same reason the Romans gave the men the circus was so they didn't overthrow their government that fucked them in the ass. That's the exact same purpose all of these sports have, to keep every man parked on their fat ass, drinking their beers, eating their chips, and getting fucked up the ass by their government. That's why they do this bread and circus the way they do. And they rig it the way they do, so they bring home all the money in the casinos by rigging the games. That's why every gambler's like, man, I thought I was being logical. I thought that made so much sense. How did that happen? How did the Steelers just get beat by the lowly Browns? How did Maurice Pouncey just snap the ball to the moon? Again, because it's all a big joke, man. It's all a joke.
No, I 100% agree with you. What I was going to ask you is, like, do you think they put magnets in the rims or, like, in the...
Here. I'm going to answer your question. Did you see the Falcons-Chiefs game 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
Okay, do you remember how that ended?
They killed them. They won by, like, 3, yeah.
Okay, so here's how that game ended. The Falcons had a chip shot field goal to tie the game, and Sweet Lady was here, and they brought out the kicker, the Asian guy for Sweet Lady was
kicker,
Sweet Lady's Asian, and she couldn't believe there was an Asian guy in the NFL. But anyway, they're bringing him out and they're hyping him up. They're like, this guy's going to his first Pro Bowl. He's made 27 straight field goals, and I said, 27 straight field goals on the 27th. I said, watch, this will miss, even though it's a short one. And the way he kicked that ball should have went through the uprights. It was going to split the uprights, but late it just sliced so hard and it missed. And I said, that's the technology right there. Months ago, I uploaded that video to this channel, Lamar Jackson looking at that field goal that missed for the Ravens. It was like the exact same thing. It was going right down the middle, and then it just sliced hard at the end and missed. And he's like, look, there's no wind. He's like, how's that even possible? I forget what Lamar Jackson says, but he's like, they should have done a redo on that. That didn't make any sense. They're using technology. It's so obvious. You got to be blind to not see it.
No, 100%, I agree with you. That's what I was going to call and ask, because, like, these guys are paid, they get non-closure agreements for the NFL. So they're getting paid millions of dollars. They're not going to say anything because they don't want to, they'll get sued. So they're not going to say anything. So they're going to go along with everything that's going on. And it just doesn't make sense. Like, bro, remember the Tyree catch? Like, he has to have magnets in his gloves to make that catch. It's not possible. It's not humanly possible to make the catches. Like, it doesn't make sense. It's like they're using, like you said, technology for, like, the kicks, the catches, being basketball, the rims. I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but it's sick. It really is.
Yeah, they got technology. Either that or magic's real, and there's like somebody in the stands that's like a wizard. It's like Gandalf's there. Woo! So it's one of the two. So
yeah, it's sick, bro.
All right, man.
And people that don't believe these games are fixed, they just look at Vegas. Vegas wouldn't be in business if they weren't fixed.
Indeed.
That's it.
Indeed. Yeah.
All right. Good talking to you, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care, man. See ya.
You too.
Yeah. That's just the thing. That's also the thing about the U.S. It's just everybody's chemically dumbed down from birth. You got poisonous chemicals in your food, in your water. Everyone's like chemically retarded, so they can't see the obvious. What's up, caller?
Hey, Zach. I just wanted to say that I think I saw a Super Bowl flu in the national championship game. Did you happen to see the moment that the announcer randomly said that number 45 for Alabama was playing it was the long snapper playing in his 55th straight game?
I actually missed that, but good catch. So a little 55 tribute.
Yeah, so he's playing in his 55th straight game, 45. New Orleans equals 45.
Nicholas is 45. They like that number. Nick Saban does a lot of things with 45, and Miami's 45 again, and we just saw how it was 45 weeks after Tua's birthday, this championship game. So,
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I was just thinking that, the Super Bowl this year is 11 years to the day that the Saints upset the Colts. The Super Bowl halftime show in Super Bowl in 2010 was The Who, and this year it's The Weeknd. TW equals 11. I don't know. I was just thinking maybe Saints have some numbers lining up to win this year.
I'll tell you what. If the Saints end up in the Super Bowl, and I'm not saying they're gonna, but if they do, they are probably definitely gonna lose because Drew Brees' next loss is 55. So if I'll throw that one out there. If the Saints end up in the Super Bowl, they look real good to lose in it. But I'm not sure they're going to be the team in the NFC. Maybe. We'll see. So.
All right, man.
All right. Appreciate it.
All right, take care.
Okay. Let's see. No caller ID. What's up, no caller ID?
Hey, it's me, Zach. I'm calling from Toronto. I just saw you're doing your live stream on the sports channel, so I just wanted to give you some sports decodes real quick.
Okay.
Are you on can you go on Free to Find Truth real quick? I just made a post regarding to what I'm going to talk about. It's about Drew McIntyre, the WWE wrestler.
I see it. Yeah, he's the guy who won that 33rd something the day Kobe died. Okay.
Yeah. So basically today, if you're going like my account on Free to Find Truth is Bo, so you can see like my breakdowns.
I got your post up here. Take us through it.
Okay, so today they announced that he's their world champion. Today has a date numerology of 53, and if you write wrestling out, it sums to 53. If you write COVID out, it sums to 53. His TNA name was Drew Galloway, which sums to 56, like coronavirus. As well, tonight was Monday Night Raw, and it was the 28th year Monday Night Raw was running on TV, and COVID sums to 28 as well.
Okay.
So I thought that was cool. I wrote a breakdown earlier with like when you spoke about Gematria, I just took it and I ran with it, and I looked at the Toronto Maple Leafs and their history because they kind of have a jaded past, and I applied the Gematria into some history, and I found some crazy stuff. I'll give you one breakdown is have you ever heard of a hockey player named Tim Horton?
Oh yeah, Tim Horton, man. He's got the biggest mistake I ever made in my life. Truly, was not stopping at a Tim Hortons donut shop because I was almost up to Whistler Village. This was years ago when I was young, and I was driving from Seattle up to Whistler, and there was a Tim Hortons along the way, and we almost stopped there. And had we probably would have found out what had happened, but a truck had jackknifed in the road, and it was dumping snow. We ended up getting stuck in one place in the road, just miles from Whistler Village, and we were there like overnight. We were parked in a car in the freezing cold for like 14 hours.
Oh.
And I was like, God, if we'd stopped at that Tim Hortons, we probably would have got word to not go any further. So, anyway, yeah, I know all about Tim Hortons.
Okay. Tim Hortons, they have the coffee and donut shop. I also have this breakdown on Feeder Fry and Truth, so anybody can go on Feeder Fry and Truth and search Bo, and you'll see this breakdown. Tim Horton was killed in a car crash at the age of 44 years old. Tim Horton sums to 51 in Gematria. He died on the 51st day of the year on February 21st, 1974. Both Society of Jesus and Coffee and Donuts and Coffee. Okay, let me repeat that again. Both Society of Jesus and Donuts and Coffee sum to 191 and 56 in Gematria.
Okay.
Tim Horton played professional ice hockey for 24 seasons. In Gematria, Canada sums to 24.
Right.
As a signing bonus with Buffalo, Horton received a sports car, the same vehicle that ended up ending his life, playing his former team, the Toronto Maple Leafs, one night. Upon Horton's death in that's that. So that was him. I think he was ritually sacrificed after his game with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Then there's one other player I thought was just even more crazier. Bill Barilko. Have you heard of him?
I'm not familiar with his name. No.
Okay, so the Tragically Hip, they wrote a song back in 1993 called 50 Mission Cap. So in 1993, Canadian rock band, the Tragically Hip wrote a song about former Canadian ice hockey player / Toronto Maple Leafs Bill Barilko called 50 Mission Cap. The song talks about how Bill Barilko disappeared on a fishing trip in 1951. Okay. The last goal he ever... Listen, this is crazy. The last goal he ever scored won the Maple Leafs the Stanley Cup in overtime. The Maple Leafs would not win another Stanley Cup until 1962, when Barilko's body was discovered.
Huh.
Notice in Gematria, 50 Mission Cap, human sacrifice, blood sacrifice, all sum to 86. Barilko was 24 years old when he passed away. Notice in Gematria, Canada sums to 24. Also, the Tragically Hip, the Jesuit Order, and Jesuit Order all sum to 84 in Gematria. When Barilko died, he went on this trip with his dentist, and notice dentist sums to 44 and 91. Kill sums to 44, and Society of Jesus sums to 91. Now, when the Leafs won the other cup in 1962, 11 years later, that like master number again, 11 years later on June 6th, 1962, helicopter pilot Ryan Boyd discovered the plane wreckage about 56 kilometers or 35 miles off course. That date had numerology of 93. Also, keep in mind what we know about 35 and 56 and Catholic, right? So that date had date numerology of 93. 6 plus 6 plus 19 plus 32 is 93. Ron Boyd, when you write it out in Gematria, sums to 93.
Okay, interesting. I was going to say that's a big number at the NHL championship, too, because Stanley equals 93, and it's Canada's sport, and they haven't won it since 93. They haven't won the Stanley Cup, and number has to do with time and Saturn and death and judgment. So, yeah, you're doing some good detective work here. Okay, what else you got?
Okay, I got more for the Leafs, too. It's for this season. So the reason why I went to on the Rampage is I saw they released the Adidas reverse retro jerseys, and this breakdown is also on Free to Front too. So get on there and check it out if you guys want to check it out. But I'll give you guys the breakdown right now. As a result of the coronavirus, this upcoming NHL season will begin on January 13th, 2021 with 56 regular season games. It will be 54 years since the Maple Leafs won their last Stanley Cup. Notice the 56 regular games. In Gematria, both coronavirus and Society of Jesus sums to 56. Also, Maple Leafs and Jesuit Order both sum to 54. Moreover, the cup design of the retro reverse jerseys released in this upcoming season takes inspiration from the jerseys worn in the 1967-70 period when the Leafs last won the cup. Also, one thing I'd like to point out on the jerseys, everything is capitals except for the N. N in Gematria is the 13th. It's the 13th, and they only have 13 cups, which I thought was a nice, cool thing there. Also, when the Leafs last won the Stanley Cup, it was Canada's centennial year. This year, 2021, would be Canada's 154th year since Confederation. Ritual sacrifice sums to 154. Do you know any other things that sum to 154, Zach?
Well, I do, but not in regards to death. But 154 does show up with death, so it's a number that relates to a lot of rituals with LeBron and King James. But in this case, I think that's your use of 154 right there. So. Okay.
I think Toronto Maple Leafs will win the Stanley Cup this year, 2021. The last possible date for the cup to be handed out is July 9th, 2021. That date can be written 7-9, and it will have a date numerology of 21. 7 plus 9 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 21. Jesuit sums to 21. It's also 2021. George Armstrong was the last Toronto Maple Leafs captain to win a Stanley Cup. His name sums to 79 and 83 in Gematria. He's also 90 years of age and will turn 91 years old on July 6, 2021. I believe George Armstrong will be ritually sacrificed at the age of 91 on the day the Stanley Cup is awarded on July 9th, 2021. The Society of Jesus sums to 91 in Gematria. Murder sums to 79 in Gematria. And July 9th is the last possible date for the Stanley Cup champion to be awarded. It's also 191st day of the year. Notice in Gematria, Society of Jesus sums to 191. And that's the breakdown for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Well, I appreciate the work you're doing. I'm going through your posts, all your posts here. For people who aren't on free2findtruth.com, it's 100% free to use. I pay for the website. This website costs me $1,000 a month to run. I do it based off the donations that come in. Again, the purpose of this website is so that people can have a censorship-free place to essentially create their own, blog timeline. They don't have to worry about some big tech company taking it down. And plus, the other thing that's nice about this website is if you're willing to put the city or the state or the country you live in, people can search the database and see who else is there. And hopefully, you guys, if you're trying to network and meet people in your community and make new relationships and organize and do things, again, that's the other goal of the website, is to help people link up. So free2findtruth.com. Just plug in your email address, do your confirmation email, and then you have access. There's nothing else required. It's totally free. Well, it's totally free for you, but again, Bo right here is doing great work. Bo's making me happy that this website exists because I'm seeing his work here, and it's awesome. So keep it up, Bo.
I also want to say one thing, Zach. I know sometimes you get frustrated and you feel like your work's not getting out there, but your work helps me. It helps a lot of people, and even with me, every day I try to get people to learn Gematria and just to see around them what's going on. Because the government restrictions here in Canada are crazy. It has people doing crazy shit, and I just try to show them look, this is not what's going on. They're trying to mind control people, and some people are getting it, but slowly people are waking up. So I think all of us truth seekers just need to be persistent and network on Free to Find Truth and actually get out there, because they're gonna start censoring us eventually on the internet. So thanks, guys.
Yeah. All right. Keep up the good work. Bo, before you go, did you guys really go into martial law yesterday? Is that true? Did that happen January 10th?
So here's what's going on. Quebec got in like a curfew, and they can't do anything. But slowly, all the other provinces are gonna slowly enter curfew because they have like a lockdown here in Ontario. That's where I'm from, but it's fucked, man. But yeah, good luck, guys.
All right, hang in there, Bo. Keep up the great work, man. I'm impressed.
Peace out.
All right, take care. Caller?
Hey Zach, how are you?
Doing all right. What's up?
Hey, a couple points I want to make when you're talking about how fixed things are, or how fake they are. Hey, Steve Mnuchin, the Secretary of Treasury of the United States, he's also a massive Hollywood producer. He's credited with that one that came out with Harley Quinn last year, The Accountant. If you just look up some of the movies that he's made since 2010, they're like some of the biggest blockbusters ever, but yet he's a Secretary of Treasury right now. He's the number one guy that goes between the Federal Reserve and the President of the United States. Seems like a full-time job. I don't know how you're a full-time Hollywood director at the same time. Also, Steve Bannon, who's a confidant for President Trump. Steve Bannon is considered one of the best special effects experts on the planet in terms of filmmaking. And then Michael Aquino, who's head of Air Force Intelligence, who wrote the book on mind control, who's a former author on that as well. So it seems like we have an entire cast of some of the top Hollywood professionals on the planet working at some of the highest levels of the government. So these are a couple of things that I think I don't code so well that I think would be good if somebody could uncode them. I sent you an DM on Twitter with some of the information too, so you get a chance, check it out.
Okay, I'm really bad on Twitter. I'll see if I can figure out where your message is. But
all right, if not, I'll find you on Free to Find Truth. I'll send you over the info as well. But there's just way too many actors. These high level guys. It's got to be something that ties us all together.
And the man at the top, Donald Trump. You know, he's got the long IMDb acting credits, so it all just makes too much sense. Yeah.
The Oscar award-winning performance by him, absolutely. Like people want to know how fake it gets. They're going to show you that you're literally living in a movie, and they have the people in place to prove it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, really great points. Also, by the way, if you just want to send me an email, the email I check every day is that numbergamesbook@gmail.com. If you send me an email there, I'll definitely see it.
I'll send it over. Thanks,
All right, thanks, man. Good night. Caller?
What's going on, Zach?
Hey, what's up?
So I kind of just had a story for you. It was, I guess you can call it a synchronicity or whatever, but yesterday, because I'm in New York, so it's the 12th today, but yesterday was January 1st, so 111, just like New York, and I had to go get gas because I was running low, right? And I pulled up to the pump or whatever. You know how they're double-sided and everything, so I pulled, and then about 2 minutes later, this other guy pulls up right next to me. And for some reason, he was joking around when he said it, but he goes, "Oh man, I can't believe you're wearing shorts right now. It's freezing outside." I'm just like, I just laughed at him. I'm like, "Yeah, I get it, but you know, New York is typically how the weather goes." And so I just wanted to strike up a slight conversation with him. So I'm like, "Oh, how's your night going and everything?" I'm like, "How are you doing?" And he told me, he's like, "Oh, well, I'm visiting my parents right now from Arizona." And I'm just like, when he said Arizona, and I was just thinking about all the things you say about New York and Arizona and whatnot, I was just like, oh my God, just, you know, unbelievable right there. And, yeah, I didn't know if you had any thoughts about that or whatnot, but, it was just pretty crazy. And, my birthday was, January 3rd. And the day after my birthday, I actually got a letter in the mail from, Lemoyne College, which is one of the 27 Jesuit colleges. And I was just like, oh my God, what are the odds of this? But I had to look into it. I'd used the Gematria, and I saw that Lemoyne equals 35, like Catholic, and it was created in 1946. So Perfect. You got the 35 and the 46 for the Jesuit University. Yeah. And yeah, just a lot of synchronicities been going on lately. And I know you said about how when you start to see that stuff, it means you're on the right path or whatever. And I really been feeling that lately, and it's just pretty amazing.
Interesting. Well, the one thing I can say is, I mean, a lot of people from the Northeast do go down to Arizona to be in the warmer weather. It's like when I was at Arizona State, I realized half the campus there was from the Northeast. I mean, a lot of people live in the Northeast, and a lot of people go down there to escape the cold. But yeah, it is interesting how those two states have that gematria synchronization. So.
Yeah, and then all the things with like the power outages and Jan Napolitano, and
Public
it was just
Enemy.
like, of all the, just Public Enemy, just.
And I was actually just looking. I was just doing some research because I just love to look at things throughout history and try to figure out things that sync up with the numbers. Did you ever look at Pope Pius in the Civil War?
Yeah. I'm gonna have a bunch of stuff.
So like how it's,
go ahead.
Like the whole thing with 32 and whatnot. It's so from the start of the Civil War to his birthday is a span of 32 days, and right, America equals 32. There's the date numerology for the start of the Civil War is 32. The Revolution has a date numerology of 32, and I know that's a huge number with.
Don't forget the 32 sun rays on the Jesuit logo, just like the Dodgers this year. First World Series in 32 years. They scored 32 runs. Mookie's 32. They beat the Rays like the 32 sun rays.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's amazing when you're able to look through history. Like, I was just looking at the start of the Civil War, and I pulled up the United States Senate page, and it says, at 4:30 a.m. on April 12th, 1861, Confederate troops fired on Fort Sumter,
Civil War
South
43.
Carolina's Charleston Harbor.
Yeah.
And then it says less than 34 hours later, Union forces surrendered. So it's like, and then yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Civil War.
Well, keep up the good work, man. Appreciate it.
No problem. I'm going to call in tomorrow. I have a pretty cool 9/11 story that I think it's going to blow some mind, but I'll say that for tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good, man. You take care.
All right, you too. Bye, Zach.
Caller?
Hi. I had called last night, and I had you do the baseball little breakdown. They said I was going to make a little clip of it. I had just posted that one. I was just letting you know, this isn't sports related at all, but yeah, I was just letting you know that I had posted that one just now up on Free to Find Truth, and I snipped it down to it's like a minute and 45 seconds if people wanted to share it around. And then there was another one I did about the with Adam Lanza and the 112. And it's also on Free to Find Truth if anybody wants to share it. I'm just going to be making more and doing that. And the other thing was that I wanted to say is just that it really bothered me because I had called a while ago and about the Sinbad thing, and then with the Philadelphia police commissioner, how her name was Outlaw, and that's been bothering me since. And so I've been looking up about her, and I just wanted to point out just that there's literally nothing. She started in Oakland, California, and then went to Portland, Oregon, and then now she's in Philadelphia. And it's she's only been there for a little bit and has bumped up each place that she's went. There's no tracking of her. There's nothing online about her. And if you look on the Philadelphia website at her picture, her name is I don't know, just her name tag. It's different. It's everything should be proper when you're looking at a picture of any government anything picture, and yeah, her name tag is just off.
Huh.
I don't know. I just want to throw that out there too.
Good observation. Well, I got your channel up on the screen, Gematria Snips. I really appreciate you doing this. Thank you, because I've always been hoping that people do that because I make these long videos, and I'm like, people should just cut. I mean, I could do it, but then I'd be duplicating videos. So I appreciate you doing it. Thank you.
No, I don't mind at all. I had commented on another video, and I just asked people if there was any other one that they had wanted. I'm just they know the exact clip or the exact video that they want, and if they just tell me what it is, then I can go ahead and snip it out. Because and for anybody else listening, if they have an iPhone or an iPad, or Apple or whatever computer is there's an app iMovie that's equipped on every phone, and that makes it literally. A child can use it on there, where you can cut out every little pause, even just with you breathing, just to cut down a second, and they can, I don't know, anybody can do it. It's so simple.
Yeah,
so
I don't want.
Anything.
I don't really want to make requests because I'm just already grateful you're doing this. But I know that there were the two parts of yesterday's video where we talked about the simulation of October 24th, 2000, with the plane flying into the Pentagon, and now that was 322 days before September 11th. I think that would be a great little snip there. And
yep, yes, it would.
So,
is there any other one that you can think of?
Well, we talked about two different simulations in that video. Then we also talked about the one where they simulated cruise missiles hitting the strategic targets 102 days before 9/11, the attack that supposedly lasts 102 minutes. I think that might make a good little snip as well. But whatever you have time for, I'm grateful for. So thank you. So.
Yeah, I have all the time in the world. If anything, I was going to say, anybody can comment on there, or if you comment on there, if you let me know anything, I really don't mind. I'm a stay-home mom, and I make edibles. So I don't care.
Mom of the year, stay-home mom doing gematria and making edibles. Lucky man you got there. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, yeah, that's all. I just wanted to put that out there.
All right. What's your secret to your edibles? How do you do it over there?
Well, I just do the butter, and I was the one that asked you about the nut. I make I call them glazed pecans.
Oh, yeah.
Those ones are the popular ones.
Woo.
Cinnamon glazed pecans, and then walnuts, cashews. Like the walnuts and pecans are the best ones because the syrup sticks to it the best. And yeah, like you only got to eat like 7 or 8 of them, and you're good.
If you want to send me some of those with a bill, I will happily pay the bill. So.
I asked you a while ago if you eat them, if I send them out. I just haven't had a chance. I was doing the virtual schooling with my son, but he literally just got the okay to go back to school today. So, yeah, I want to get those out like this week for you. Send them out. That's free. I just want to get them out there.
Oh, send me a bill too. Or if it comes, I'll just send you something back. I appreciate that. So, thank you.
All right.
All right.
No problem.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have a good night. Take care.
You too.
Caller?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello. Hey, Zach.
How you doing?
Hi. I'm fine. I'm calling out of Jersey. Quick question, because last night with the Steelers game, so I didn't know if you called that they said the script changed for the Steelers. I don't know if you caught that.
Oh, we like the Browns. I don't think they flipped the script. I think that was the script for the... We talked about it earlier. So yesterday, the Steelers got their 26th all-time playoff loss, and the Browns got their first playoff win in 26 years. And yesterday's date could be written 10/1 like 101, and it's the 101st NFL season, and 101's the 26th prime. And again, Roethlisberger, if you look up Roethlisberger's stats now... He has hold on, let me put this up, his all-time stats. He has 169 wins now, and he picked up his 83rd loss last night, and Cleveland Browns equals 169 and 83. So I think that was a perfect script for the first Browns playoff win in 26 years.
So. But then the crazy part, last night, right after the game, they had in-depth with Graham Bensinger or whatever, and guess who was on there? It was the Cleveland Browns, one of the players. He hasn't been, what's his name, Joe Thomas? He hasn't been to the playoffs. I mean, he's been on the team for 10 years, and they have never seen, he never thought that he would get to be able to play in the playoff game.
Huh.
But what are the odds that they have him on last night, right after the game? An interview.
Okay.
Saying that Joe Thomas was on the team for 10 years and has never made it to the playoffs.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know about all that. But
yeah, they had it come right on after the game. I was like, I'm going to call Zach tomorrow and let him know, because I've been following it, and I'm like, they think they slick, you know what I mean? So they just kept, but you could tell, it's something behind them, they're trying to build up the Browns due to, them being such a shitty team. And then I'm laughing at them because they focused on Ben Roethlisberger. As soon as he lost, they had a towel on his head, he really, you know what I mean? He didn't know that he wasn't supposed to lose. So he's beating himself down at the end of the game. And they had the camera on him for literally 3 minutes of embarrassment.
Okay. I see the headlines today is that Marquise Pouncey is thinking about retiring after yesterday's snap. And again, it's just such a joke. I mean, no doubt that he was told to snap the ball the way he did at the beginning of the game, but yeah, the Joe Thomas thing's interesting, so I'm not sure about all that, but it is interesting.
Yeah, well, look into that. And then I was laughing because when I watched the Ravens game and they interviewed Lamar, he ran into the locker room, and they was focused on him running into the locker room right after the game.
Huh.
So when he came back out to do the interview, they were like, how does it feel to shut down Henry? So he was like, well, how can you compare the two? I'm offense, he's defense. They don't even in line with each other. So, he was, very, very, got smart with the lady that was asking the question. She kept trying to go back to it. And he was like, I said, we're on two different stuff.
I saw that, actually. He didn't say defense, but he said he's a running back and I'm a quarterback. And
you know what I mean? But he was just saying,
I actually saw that, and I liked that response, actually, because I was like, yeah, control the narrative. Don't let them control the narrative. He said, the narrative's about me finally winning a playoff game. That's all I want to talk about. So.
Yeah, and I knew that was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. And then, like, what I had caught, because, like, I be paying attention to the sports. And, like, when you go on football, like, it gives the history, football history. I forget the name of it right now. But, like, what's the name? They were, like, 11 and 12. So I was, like, normally I noticed that they elect, like, what's the name was 11. So they, the Titans had them up by one game. So when they do that, they normally even them out. So they both became 12 and 12. The same thing with Tom Brady. Well, with the Buccaneers and Washington. Washington was up on them one game. So when the Bucs won yesterday, that put them both at 12 and 12. And next week, for this week that they got coming up, it's Green Bay with the Bills. Not the Bills, Green Bay with the Rams. The Rams is up on Green Bay by one game. So what would you think is going to happen this week? They're going to let Aaron Rodgers, even though I'm a Packers fan, was a Packers fan before I got introduced to Zachary Hubbard, but they'll be tied if Green Bay wins. So if you look it up on football history from like their season, you'll see Green Bay is behind the Rams one game.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you look up the history with, like I said, with the Buccaneers and Washington, you will see that now they both even. And the same thing with the Ravens and Titans. They're both even.
Yeah, 13 and 13 in that one. So, yeah. Yeah.
So by both of them winning yesterday, they end up both being even.
Yeah, that's
so
a good
this
observation.
week you have Green Bay playing the Rams, and if you look at it, Green Bay is behind one game.
Right. Yeah.
So that's all. I'll let everybody else call in. I'm about to go in your chat so I can laugh at all the comments.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, appreciate the call.
All right. Have a good night.
Yeah, you have a good night,
Yeah,
too.
bye.
Take care. All right. See you. Caller?
Hey, what's up, Zach?
Hey.
I threw up a post on Free to Find Truth. The Juno spacecraft on Jupiter made news. Picked up an FM radio signal.
An XM radio signal?
No, FM. I think it equals 223 in reverse ordinal. FM radio signal.
Is this like some new news about the Juno probe?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, right after the Pittsburgh game.
The one that landed on the
what-
4th of July years ago? What was that? It was 2016. July 4th, 2016, it supposedly landed on Jupiter. I remember that.
Yeah, I didn't really look into it too much, but I know it's really sweeping, like the conspiracy, Trump Q people.
We just had that great conjunction with Jupiter. We just had that big ritual with the Bengals on the great conjunction, because, again, the Bengals got the stripes and Jupiter's the striped planet. I'm sure Rambo's going to be all over this one. I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, it's the coming from the moon Ganymede.
Okay.
Ganymede.
Okay.
All right. And I was watching the Disney reboot or like sequel Tron Legacy.
Okay.
And they have the character in it, which is basically like a program created by the main character. The name is Clue, CLU.
Okay.
And that's like the program that goes all haywire and becomes like a dictator, kind of.
Okay.
But it has very interesting gematria across all the different ciphers and has a really strong like 666 connection to, it's 36. It's I put it up on Free to Find Truth. I posted it hours ago. My name is Mike. If you want to look, but basically, dude, it's got like in the English extended, it's 333 in forward and 666 reverse. In English Sumerian, it's 216. And it's even got a 56 and a 223. And it's really interesting because it's only 3 letters. And it's got a really strong connection to the 666 number. And I just thought it was really interesting because it has to do with the internet, computers, and all that stuff.
Okay. Interesting. All right, man. Appreciate it.
All right. And Yep, welcome, man. Check you later.
All right, have a good night. See you. All right, we'll leave it there. It's getting late. Probably going to start getting more calls about random topics. But if you guys got here late, that little red bar at the bottom, if you just drag it all the way to the left, it'll rewind the video, and then you can watch in the beginning where we talk about the scripting of the championship and the ritual that was, and it's totally undeniable unless you're totally brain dead. And then we went over the rigged wild card games and then had some interesting calls. So we'll leave it there, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. And remember to subscribe to Gematria Effect News, because that's where I post almost every day, whereas I'm only posting on Gematria Effect Sports, besides on Patreon. Most of the almost all the videos on this channel you can't see because they're private and they're just for the Patreon community. So the public videos on Gematria Effect Sports, I haven't been real active. But Gematria Effect News, we're there almost daily. So have a good night, all. If you're in another part of the world, have a good day, and until next time.